A former Idaho officer has been charged with killing his wife and felony domestic battery. Can you believe it? What's up, all my fellow lunatics out there? You know who it is. It's Rational Lunatic. And before we get started on this next story, um, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you don't know me, get to know me. Don't miss my new stories, and definitely catch up on my old ones. Real quick, I want to address a couple comments. I know that when I'm reading sometimes, it seems like I'm missing words or slurring a little bit. The deal is, I work nights, and I cut my videos in the morning after I get off work, usually before I go to the gym. So when I first get off work, sleeping days, I don't sleep as well, so I'm just tired. So I'm doing my best to read these stories off my other phone until I get, you know, better means to make better videos for y'all. So I just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know that it's not because I'm illiterate or can't read or I'm having, severe issues or anything. I'm just, fighting exhaustion. And with that being said, if you can catch me on TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, yada yada yada. If you're on TikTok and you don't catch the full video, jump over to YouTube. The full video will always be there, since TikTok only gives me 10 minutes. But that's about it as far as what I'm concerned concerning me. Let's get into the story, shall we? This news report is coming from the Idaho State Journal, read to you by yours truly. And this is a wild one. Just strap in and let's get into it. Former Idaho law enforcement officer charged with killing his wife. A former Idaho State Police trooper was arrested for the alleged killing of his wife in 2021. Daniel Howard, 57, of Athol, turned himself in to the Kootenai County Jail after an arrest warrant was obtained charging Howard with the February 2nd, 2021 murder of his wife, Kendi Howard, according to a Kootenai County Sheriff's Office news release. The warrant also charged Howard with felony domestic battery. Details surrounding Kendi Howard's death were not released, which means it must have been pretty gruesome if they're not releasing the details. Or they can't talk about it until he goes to trial or whatever, but I would imagine, usually if a person's shot and they're killed, the details are they were shot and they were killed. So the fact that he was charged with a felony battery, domestic battery, it sounds to me like he beat her to death. I'm hoping that's not the case, because I can't quite wrap my head around it, but yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. But that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let's continue. Howard is being held without bond, according to Sheriff's Office Lieutenant Zachary Sifford. About 10 years ago, Daniel Howard learned his wife had an affair with his friend Matthew Wood, the Kootenai County Prosecutor's Office said in a 2015 Spokesman Review story. Daniel Howard then threatened Wood and later poured syrup into Wood's vehicles, left him vulgar messages, and fired a shotgun in his house. The prosecutor's office alleged Daniel Howard admitted to some of those acts and agreed to pay restitution to Wood. Investigators also found thousands of rounds of ISP ammunition at Daniel Howard's Athol residence, and said the ammo had disappeared when they returned weeks later with a search warrant. He claimed he kept the ammo at his house for convenience because he was a shooting range officer and lived near the range. Daniel Howard resigned from state police in November 2014 after 19 years of service. He was sentenced in early 2015 for malicious injury to property, petty theft, title fraud, and failing to tag a deer he shot. I screwed up, and I stand here utterly ashamed, Howard said at sentencing. I will forever endeavor to correct these wrongs. First District Court Judge Benjamin Simpson placed Howard on probation. He also ordered Howard to serve 4 months in jail and perform 600 hours of community service. Simpson said he believed Howard acted under stress brought about by his return to duty following a 2011 police shooting in which he killed a woman, followed by Howard learning of his wife's relationship with Wood. It's obvious to me that you were not yourself. You were a broken human being, Simpson said. You rehabilitated yourself. A lesser man could not have done that. Kendi Howard was one of the people who spoke on Howard's behalf at sentencing. The pair reconciled. Many people said at sentencing that Howard was different after the 2011 on-duty shooting when he fired as a fleeing fugitive backed a Jeep into him. He mistakenly shot the female passenger. The shooting was determined to be justified and Howard returned to duty. According to Kendi Howard's obituary, she worked at Kootenai Health and was known for her bright smile and ongoing personality. She loved being outside, going to concerts, enjoying friendships, and a good brewery. She was survived by her parents, children, granddaughter, and brother. So, yeah. And like always, if you want me to follow up on this to see what happens with this misman, like what he's sentenced to, how his trial goes, let me know. I'll definitely do my best to keep up on that, at your request, of course. But yeah, so the gist of it, from what I'm getting, basically, when he was still a cop, back in 2011, something like that, he found out his wife was, screwing his friend, did a bunch of heinous acts to the friend, shooting a shotgun in his house, messing his vehicles up, threatening him, whatnot. And, after finding out that his wife cheated on him, then he ended up shooting a woman, killing her while on duty by accident, because he wasn't shooting at her. I guess he was shooting at the driver who was backing a Jeep in his direction. And he remained on duty, and it sounds like the judge, thought highly of him at the time, but he apparently resigned a couple years later, and then, a few years later, got in domestic with his wife, and allegedly, it sounds like he beat her to death. I mean, I know affairs happen. People cheat on other people. Things happen in relationships. But if you're gonna forgive somebody, you really need to be able to forgive and forget. If you can't forgive and let things go, you really shouldn't stick in a relationship, because something like this can happen. Because if you're stewing over something like this for however long, especially years, and it's brewing inside of you, I mean, it just takes the right combination with the wrong person to create the right act and end up killing somebody and then going to prison. Usually I know usually I do stories about current cops that are cops now that have been arrested, but I read this story and it just, I don't know, it was shocking. I thought it needed to be told, so here I am telling it. But anyway, yeah, hit that like and subscribe button. Please leave me some comments. I do appreciate all your comments. And this channel is growing pretty quick. I think we're almost at 100 subscribers. We just started a couple months ago, and I took a couple months off. So I started about 3 months ago. So I think we're doing pretty good and growing so far. Let's keep it up. I'm like, excuse me, like I said, I'm exhausted. Anyhow, I'm Rational Lunatic. Thank you for being here. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. And until the next time, stay wild.